welcome back to the conversation that never ends. This is Timeless Talk. I'm your host, AJ, and this is season 3, episode 7. Yeah, another week down. Yo, yeah, we here with some new faces. Oh yeah, B-Money got fired. Just kidding, bro. No, you did it, man. Hey, we're here, guys, for another episode of season 3, and man, this is been quite a journey. You know what I mean? It's been fun. I mean, you know, have some new faces, some faces that have been returning, and it's been a fun experience, man. We're learning as we go.
That's right.
All right. So over here to my right, we have Slideshow. Back at it again. And stay here, man. Don't get lost this time, all right? So anyway, over here to my far left, we have someone that actually special to me personally. He's a good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. I've known him for I don't know how many years now. It's been quite a while, right?
It's been a minute.
It's been a long time, man. This is since high school days, man. This is my boy JP.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no. Thanks for being here, bro. Again. Hold on. Thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate that, man.
Appreciate it.
Of course. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you know, directly to my left, and certainly last but certainly not least, we have Miss Pie.
Hey.
Yo. Thank you for being here with us, Miss Pie. Right. So I have to ask you, what's the meaning behind your nickname real quick before we move forward?
It's a family nickname that I was like, it was actually a joke.
Just a little bit closer to your mic. Cutting out.
Family nickname. It was actually a joke. And I found out when I was a teenager that, my face was flat like a pie.
Oh my, that's fucked up. Yeah. Heartless. Damn.
Hey.
Yeah, you know what though? Your face don't look flat to me. I don't see it. You see flat face?
I don't even know what that
I don't
means.
see a flat face, man. Your nose is not pushed in or back or anything. They're tripping. Your family needs to get their eyes checked.
He's like, where the pie at? I'm like, right here.
Because you got a dimple? They really tripping then. Damn. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for being here, you too, Joey. The thing, guys, this episode is going to be the one that lost, unfortunately. You know, did you see the vote on Instagram?
No.
So we have put a vote up on Instagram, a poll. You see a poll to see what everybody wanted to watch next or hear next, and it was between what we're going to talk about today, which was my choice, which is a moral compass. What creates a moral compass? What consists of one? What dictates one? How does society choose between what's right and wrong? And that was my choice. Slideshows was surviving a zombie apocalypse, which I know would have won that fucking poll back in 2010 when The Walking Dead was at an all-time high. But people apparently still wanted to see the outcome of that. So that won, and we did that last episode. So now, since this topic lost, we're going to take care of it in this episode. So yeah, before we move forward with that, I'm going to go ahead and let Slideshow go ahead first and let us know what his take is on moral compass. And yeah, man, so what do you think? I'll start by asking you that. What do you think a moral compass is? What does it define as? What does that mean to you? How do you use yours on a daily basis? Is it just, are you living in your truth? Are you just determining? Now let me explain. Let me explain, y'all. Shit, the crowd needs to stop, man. Chill out. Anyway, so what I mean by that is when you are out there, right, and you're living in your own truth, quote unquote, to say, how's your moral compass really morally right? Because you could be doing some fucked up shit to somebody, but to you, it's morally okay. To them, it won't be. You know what I mean? So, What does moral compass mean to you, sir? And how do you dictate it? And what do you? And then that's that question. Answer that one. And then for the second question, how do you think a society it picks? Their uses their moral compass, government wise, and
Well, as far as me, I was gonna say, I was gonna start with. I find it kind of hard to talk about moral compasses and not include religion with it. So
that's fair.
I think before there was religion, I think every man did what was right to himself, as like you were stating just now.
Yeah.
As far as me growing up, I grew up in a Christian household, and I was under the impression that just because I grew up in a Christian household necessarily meant I was a Christian. But no, I was taught the values. And then when I got of age, I realized that, I know what my mom taught me. I know what church taught me. But at the end of the day, I'm going to still do what I do, right?
Right.
Yep.
So, when it comes to a lot of things, I know what's right. but doing what's right isn't always what you want to do.
Nope.
Because it's not always fun.
Nope.
It don't get you into trouble. You know, it doesn't. That heart racing adrenaline isn't there. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll be living my truth. Sometimes I don't. I ain't even gonna cap.
You gonna cap?
I ain't gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap.
No. That's good. That's fair. I respect that because it's true.
Because I don't do everything by the book.
I think a lot of people don't do things by the book, man.
But that's the thing, though. It is always there for me. Like I think I don't know where to say your moral compass, but I kind of look at it as like a kind of like intuition, or like Christians would say like the Holy Spirit guiding you, telling you what's right from wrong, discerning.
Of course.
But like I said, like I could still have that voice and still be like, nah, I don't know.
Do you think it's the Christian leaders that depict what a moral compass is then for society? Or how do you think the atheists do it? Because, the atheists are there too.
I think that's
you said yours is guided by God, right? But what about if
Yeah.
you're an atheist? How do you guide it then? Is it self-interest?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because what else would you have to go off of?
Yeah. So then it's kind of insanity if you think about it. Don't you guys agree? And now everybody can kind of chime in. Are you done? I don't want to cut you off. Everybody can go ahead and chime in freely at this point. But do you guys think, and don't all go at once, but between you two, what do you guys think about those two questions that I asked Slideshow?
And don't be afraid to step on toes.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
definitely.
That's what we're here for. We're here to ruffle
Okay,
feathers
all
because
right.
Get that gun ready, bro.
I have to get it ready, bro. You're right.
Yeah, locked and loaded. Okay, so to piggyback off that, I was actually also raised in a Christian household, and I grew up in church and everything like that. But as I got older and I started learning about different religions, I thought they all were interesting. And just because I was raised in a Christian household, that don't mean that I don't have my own understanding of what it is to, be interested in a different religion. And there's so many different religions out there. So I'm just like, hey,
No, that's true.
so far as being morally, right or wrong, I feel like, long as you believe in a higher power, there's so many different laws, religions, and different things that everybody must follow. But, you got to understand that at the end of the day, we all have to live our lives.
No, that's true. I agree. And I think another part of that as well is that I think that you said something that was key there. You're not wrong for being curious about other beliefs out there and why people believe the things they believe. Mm-hmm. I think as long as you, at the end of the day, stay true to your heart and you know what feels and sounds right to you,
right,
go after that and believe in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then let that help guide your moral compass, right? Because at the end of the day, whoever ends up being wrong when it comes to that aspect, right, at least you can die knowing that you weren't a shitty human being.
There's no right
Right.
or wrong, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's the crazy part. That people say that and they're like, well, in a murderer's mind.
yourself in a box.
Yeah, in a murderer's
I beg
mind.
to differ.
Oh, here we go.
No, I want to hear. I want to hear from my boy first, though.
Yeah, no, we got to let JP talk.
I got to know who to aim this guy.
Okay, JP, what about you, brother? You're awfully quiet over there.
Yeah, I mean, my family's Catholic. Now, would I say I'm a super religious person? No. Like, I don't go to church. I don't really pray. Do I believe in a higher power? I feel like there's too much in this world not to.
Yeah.
But I just feel moral compass is just I think it's very societal.
Yeah.
I feel like people in like America, for example, will have a different moral compass than somebody from like a third world country.
Yeah.
I mean, even families, like I feel like my moral compass could be different from Slideshow's or from AJ's or from Miss Pie's. I think it comes a lot from, I think your parents kind of give you like a blueprint.
Yeah.
But then as you become of age, you start to kind of like adjust it. Like I think my parents' moral compass is different than my grandparents, and mine is different than both of theirs, but that blueprint was there. But I think it just varies. I feel like people who have a really strong faith have more things that they would morally believe are wrong than somebody who doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if me and Slideshow went at it, he'd probably have a lot more that's morally wrong based off of his faith than I would.
And
It's
his
not
face.
And his face.
He's like,
you ready?
all right, we know we know who Slideshow's going after now.
And I got to go back to Miss Pie.
Damn. That you know, Miss Spy.
all right.
So where do we leave off with that?
She said, there's no right and wrong. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, what you mean by that? There's no right or wrong.
Because everybody believes in different things, you know. So what you may have been raised on and what I have been raised on is like, you know, morally it may be right to me, but morally it may not be right to you. So as long as you're not really hurting nobody at the end of the day, taking advantage of nobody, betraying or whatnot, you know, because we all have a different understanding.
That's true.
And no one is equal. So that's out the door already. So as long as we know like our understandings and our faith in the higher power, you know, I think we're all entitled to our own opinions, you know, and our own beliefs in our own gods.
See, no, that's true. That's true. Everybody's entitled, right?
Entitled.
Even the Bible say, you know, free will. See, but like me, I'm thinking below the surface. So like when you said it's all the same, you know, what kind of went to mind for me, and I know you probably weren't going in that direction, but I'm thinking like afterlife type of thing. Because for example, you have is it the Buddhists that believe in reincarnation?
Google.
She said,
Fact
all
check.
right.
Fact check.
I was like,
All
wait
right.
a minute. I should probably fact check that.
Right.
So
No, I was gonna. I don't know if it's Buddhist, but there are religions or beliefs that believe that you'll come back as something.
The reincarnation
The
stuff.
reincarnation stuff. I don't know what it is.
I don't-
Fact check
I don't know where it is either. Yeah,
It's out
we
there.
need to get a fact checker. If you want to be a fact checker for Timeless Talk, please chime in with us. All right.
or you can just say a religion believes in.
DM us
And
any
then-
of our social media. Sorry, go ahead.
Then you got purgatory, you got heaven or hell. Then you have those that believe once you die you just sleep forever,
Yeah.
like you go like non-existent.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I thought you meant when you said they're all the same. I'm like, well, we gonna find out when we get there if they all the same. Because look,
Are you going to be able to come back and tell us?
Damn.
well, shit, I'm gonna be in heaven. I don't know about y'all, but
You better come back and let us know.
I ain't trying to
He
come back.
He ain't trying to come back. He said, y'all on your own.
Yeah, you gonna see me just like this.
It's one of those things where, you know, I don't think about it often, but I do think it's kind of like, do you want to live like your life all crazy and just hope that there's not anything after, or like just live, you know, like kind of live like there's a God versus living like there isn't one and then paying the price later.
Yeah.
Because like from what different religions say, specifically with heaven and hell, it's like there are like deadly sins. Like if you do these, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously I feel most of those are like on most people's moral compasses. I do think that there are specific things that most normal people would say are immoral. For example, murdering people.
Yeah.
You know, like
Majority, right?
majority of people will agree except for the select few who have
But
their
what
own-
about those who should be killed because of the things that they do? I mean,
Is a
you
death
can either
sentence
be
fair?
heaven on hell, or you can, you know,
Yeah,
it can go vice versa. Because I mean, who's to say that? Not stepping on toes, but there is a heaven that we're gonna go to when we pass away. You know, so I just feel like as long as you live your life every day in your right frame of, you know, mind frame, then, you know.
That's you, Slide.
What it
That's
is.
you.
But you have to live every day. You
no,
know,
I
instead
get
of
it.
saying,
Yeah.
okay, wait, and then I'm gonna live right so I can go to heaven. And then what if some people don't even want to go to heaven?
Yeah. But I feel like those people, like, I think now, like, the death penalties
Are
really
severe?
not. I feel regardless of what those people try to do, like with the Dahmer thing that came out recently, how it showed how he found his faith and was baptized. I honestly feel like even if he found his faith, like, I feel,
It's not undoable.
I mean, I don't know. Slashers could probably say, but like, can you really undo everything that man did just by saying, "Oh, I'm a Christian now. I'm baptized. Like I'm saved."
Is
I'm
it
going to
sincere?
heaven."
Are you saying
Yeah,
is it
like
sincere?
even
Yeah.
if it was sincere, like would
Is that enough to wash away?
would God wash away all of those sins of killing all of those people?
Well, look, you gotta look at the thief that was on the cross with him. Last minute, he said, "Hey, just remember me when you go." He said, "You'll be with me."
Well, just like I said,
Last minute.
no one is equal, first and foremost. And then we come and then trickle off of that. You know, I can do the same crime as, you know, someone else, and I get a lesser or worse penalty.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that Miss Pie and JP are saying that Does it really just? It's kind of hard to fathom in a way. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, that's where faith comes in.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that it's enough to prove to the Creator that I am sorry? Like, oh man, I know I did a lot of terrible shit that I'm truly from the bottom of my heart sorry for, and if I could take it all back, I would. That person could genuinely meet it. Maybe that is enough for God. It's crazy that might sound to somebody who doesn't believe in God. You know what I mean? Like, really, that's nowhere near enough, right? But
and I feel like for maybe other people, but for me, like that's where like I really want to really think about religion, where I'm like,
yeah,
where certain things just for certain people don't make sense, and like when I really think about it, like it's just wild. Like,
so for you, it doesn't make sense. Is it too wild to believe, or
it's just like it's an off-topic thing. But I was
go ahead,
reading this book
sidebar
about the Waco siege, however many years ago with the Branch Davidians, and how these people genuinely believe that this man was, the Messiah, the second coming or whatever. And it's like, I just feel like the Bible's so old. At some point, somebody just decided to start keeping track of the Bible and started preaching those thoughts. And it just, if you could look at it a way, you can almost be like, it just stuck and continued to grow because there wasn't as many different branches at the time. But if somebody, like, I'm not going to say like any religion could be like considered a cult, but if you really think about it, whenever Christianity, Catholicism all started, like one person started it and got followers, and it grew from there. And
and they said the argument there was we would be Christ.
It's like, there's just so many religions, and people say, well, mine's the real religion. No, mine's
the right one. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, so how do you know which one? It's
how do you dictate which one's correct?
Yeah. So that's why I said, like, I do believe I feel there's too much going on in this universe for there not to be a higher power.
Yeah.
But like, would I say I'm a Catholic or a Christian or a Buddhist or anything? Definitely not, because I don't know enough about it. And there's just so many intricacies from what I hear. For me,
it's hard to just pick one. Yeah. I get what you're saying. And I feel like for me personally, I think what kind of contributes to my belief would be there's a lot of evidence pertaining to certain things for me to believe it the way I see it. And I know it's tough because we're like, well, why? The timeline was built around it. BC, AD, like stuff, little things like that also add to it, in my opinion. Like, why is it so significant around this one person if he's really just a person? Right? Something must have been true for him to be this famous. And if the person wasn't real, another thing that kind of tripped me on, I want to say this real quick. Each disciple that passed away, right, that died at a martyr, right? They all died. Was it Paul that got hung upside down on a cross?
Peter.
Whatever that was it Peter? Yeah. Sorry, Paul. Peter, excuse me. Would you die for a lie? Any of you? Would anybody at this table die for a lie? Get tortured?
I would be lying to say that I would.
Tortured? Thank you. See? Nobody here would get tortured and die for a lie, right?
Well, it's one of those things. Like,
so their thing is they claim that they saw him again. You know what I'm saying? And they're willing to die for it to prove it, right?
And it's one of those things, like you see it in TV and movies, like where people are getting tortured, but to try to get info out, but like they care so much about whatever it might be that kills. And I can't say for sure that I wouldn't, depending on the situation, because like most people can only take so much.
Yeah.
But I mean
they took them to their literal breaking point to where their heart stopped, man.
Yeah.
They're willing to die for it.
I feel like religion was created because there's so many human beings in this world. If you don't have something to stand on, then you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's like a programming. You go to church every Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever it is that you go to church, and you constantly get this word read to you, and then you trickle it down, and generation to generation to generations, you'll start to believe it. Just like any other book, it's history.
That's true.
So just like, you're here today, and when you die, you become an ancestor, and it's your story. So your legacy is going to be passed down by the people who knew you and who interacted with you throughout your lifestyle.
That's
so
true.
Therefore, I just feel like, everybody has a story. Everybody's capable of writing a book, and who's to say if I wrote a book and I named my book the Bible, Miss Pie's Bible, and I created this gathering.
Sorry.
What?
No, I just wait.
Slice just looks like he's getting ready. He's loading the chamber.
I know he's coming from me. But, it's just, what if, I wrote a book and I had a congregation and we read my book every Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever.
Congregated and discussed it.
It's going to be programmed.
So you think just over generations of doing that?
Of course.
So do you think, Well, sorry, what?
Yeah, and I was kind of what I was saying, piggybacking off of that. It's just the whole, how you said the BC and AD thing.
Yeah.
I feel that was just adopted, almost not forced, but Christianity and Catholicism came from Europe.
Yeah.
You know, the Native Americans, the Native Americans don't believe in that.
They don't.
I'm sure their
timeline doesn't even have that.
You know, the natives of, you know, Mexico and South America, they probably don't believe in that, but, you know, they came and they were, you know, pretty much conquered and then they forced those beliefs onto, and that's why a lot of Mexicans are Catholic. Because it was forced, and then it, like you said, it just kind of trickles down and it gets shared, and you know they're made into believing that, and then so that's why it's hard to say like, oh, there's any one real. At least for me, like I said, I know everybody has their feelings. I'll never sit here and be like, no, you're wrong, because you might not be wrong. I might be wrong, and you know,
no, 100%.
But like everybody has an opinion, though.
Yeah. But I still live my life, you know, trying to again more going back to what I think is morally right. Like I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'm not gonna, you know, try to steal anybody's wife or do anything that, you know, I would feel like
do that shit,
you know, that's gonna like
sorry, it's just the whole stealing somebody's wife.
You know, like
Watch out, y'all. JP out there pulling hoes,
like
and she might have a ring on her finger.
Like,
she might be your wife. No,
like,
I'm just kidding.
Like everybody using sins in quotes, because if you believe in that, then it's in everybody sins. You know, it's a common doing anything compared depending on what religion you believe in. Us drinking this beer, that's us sinning. But like, you know, the big things that I believe everybody feels are morally wrong, like we said, murder. Like you won't catch most people doing that just because they have that general moral compass that
to not do it.
About.
Taking life is universally accepted
but
as bad.
I actually had a topic like, because then when is your moral compass tested? Like, let's say I'm saying I'll never murder somebody, but will I murder somebody to save somebody that I love?
Or for the country.
Or
then it's deemed okay.
The big one is the stealing. Like you're not supposed to steal, but like, will you like stealing food to feed your starving family? Like morally you shouldn't steal. But exactly, like if
I'm stealing. She said, "I'm taking the bag."
You know,
I give a fuck.
Exactly.
Damn, baby gonna go eat tonight. You tripping? Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I have a kid too. Shit, I get it. Sorry,
exactly. So it's like if your daughter's starving,
so like, how do you dictate that?
And the only way to feed her is to steal some food. Like, are you going to do it?
Of course.
Somebody.
Yeah. And what if it's not food? What if it's selling yourself? That's a sin.
Oh yeah.
Or taking, you know, a whole taken scenario, and you got to go all Liam Neeson on some people. Are you going to murder some people to save your wife and daughter? Probably.
Yes, hell you are.
Even you know, for you, you know, murder's one of the bad sins like that you're not supposed to do. So it's
give me your reasons.
to bear arms. No,
but
it's
ready.
Like, what you got?
I'm just listening.
No. You ready? He's in his corner. Like, really? Hold on. Man, if I had the Rocky song, we'd be playing it right now, bro. You ready to police these people, bro?
I'm about to say what y'all want me to comment on.
All right, so we've already heard so many like
Examply.
Oh no. Okay, so it's one of those things, right? I'm rebuttaling for myself here now.
It's one of those.
I think. Look, what I was trying to say is we've heard so many examples of reasons why some people are atheists, right? They don't believe it. Why do you believe them? Do you feel like it was because you were brought up to believe that, or do you think that God has revealed Himself to you in ways that helped you believe it on your own? Because obviously you got to that age where you were able to make that decision, right? Because you're taking the Bible, like I was in my household, brought to Sunday school every Sunday until you got old enough to make that decision yourself. What happened to you personally to help you believe in it?
Well, like I said earlier, I was brought into it as a little boy, growing up with a church mom. I was always showed what was right, that. It kind of became, I don't want to say a tradition. I don't want to say like a system. Like I just knew every Sunday was church, just taking it for what it's not rather than taking it for what it is. Kind of like how they say you shouldn't baptize a kid as a child because they don't really understand the concept.
Yeah.
So when I finally became of age, like I said, I'm knowing all these things, but I'm still moving this way. As I shared when the podcast first started, I had ran into some trouble in high school and I got sent to Belize. And that was the time of like
Understanding.
No, yeah, definitely.
That was back in season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just to brief on that, things such as like getting detained from the cops, getting into fights at school, just somebody different than who you guys know now. I know I'm a little rowdy now, but I was worse back then, like getting into fights and stuff like that. And, not having my mom on that side, I don't have my dad in my life. Only having my mom and being separated from my mom, I finally understood how like dependent I was on her. And being separated for almost 2 years, I kind of had to learn how to be independent. So, I have family over there, but I hadn't really had a relationship with them because like I haven't seen these people for like since I was like 6. So it's like I was kind of on my own for the most part. I felt like the outcast, underdog, and it was really just a quiet time of life. Like I questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What's next? I don't have a plan. How do I become a man? Stuff like that, and just not being distracted by the wrong crowd or just not having the freedom that I did before, it kind of made me vulnerable in a sense. And the only thing there was to do out there was go to church camps and go to church on Sunday. That was it, and be with family.
So you were heavily influenced by your upbringing then?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how much I needed it until I was separated by myself.
That's fair.
So then I really started to find myself at the church camps.
Do you feel like maybe that was instilled in you to believe that you needed it, or do you genuinely from the heart feel you needed it?
I feel like I do feel like I needed it. I feel like even though things don't always go as planned, I believe God always has a magnificent way of incorporating it into the bigger plan.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Do you guys have anything to comment on that, JP and Miss Pie?
I'm on the same page.
Oh, that's a first.
All right, look at you, slideshow. Good job.
You know what was crazy? There was
I feel like you had more. Did you have more?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, slideshow. I'm sorry.
No, I'll let her come. I just want to say this.
No, because your time is limited.
Oh, that's true.
That's
true.
Go ahead.
But
Call off. Sorry, go ahead.
You can't.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm a bad influence. I'm a bad influence. Don't listen to me. You were saying?
Well, one thing I want to add, you're right, but you can't limit, what God's doing, right? So, I remember there was this one time there was I'll say a missionary. She came and visited Belize. She came to one of the camps, the church camps, and she was sharing her story, or we didn't know it was her story at the time, but she was sharing a story.
Yeah.
She was like, there was, a lady, she had got raped, this, that. She told a whole ass story. Like like everybody thought she was like talking about somebody else. And it was a pretty, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it was a pretty messed up story. Basically, like guy had raped a lady, the lady was thinking about having an abortion, but she kept the baby, this, that. And then at the end of the story, I guess some people were tearing up, and then she just came out with like, I'm the baby.
Whoa.
Yeah, she just like, I'm the offspring of that my mom was thinking to get rid of me or keep me. And I was shocked because when it comes to everything in life, I could pretty much say, what the Bible stance is on it. But then like whenever the thought of abortion was brought up, that's kind of like,
You have so many conflicting thoughts.
Yeah, that's kind of like, okay, like, do men really have a say in this one, or?
It's kind of harsh being a woman, because you obviously was raped, so you don't have that same passion or I'm going to go ahead and carry out this pregnancy with, excitement or anything like that. It's just like, me personally not believing in abortions, I have to make that decision as to, do I want to abort or do I want to carry on this life? And then after the you know, if you make the decision, if I want to carry on the pregnancy and deliver the child, do I regret this child when it's actually born? Because of course it's going to have some type of identity of the person who did this, you know, horrible thing. So it's just like, you know, what do you do?
So does that, well, I'm gonna ask you three, what she just said, because I've actually asked somebody that was trying to, I guess, pro-abortion. They said that same exact thing. And I'm like, well, if you don't like the child because it resembles the person that raped you, does that mean that's a hate problem with your heart?
Tough question coming out, y'all.
Yeah. But some people don't like their baby daddies or their baby mamas.
But then once again, well, when it comes to
it's different
that,
seasons, and I mean, I'm just saying that's another topic. But you know, me personally, I would have my child because you never know what that being. Are you laughing? You never know what that being can grow up to be.
Not you. Not laughing at you.
You know, and just like she told that story, you know, somebody needed to hear that, and maybe she saved a life because maybe someone was thinking about raping somebody. Yeah, you know,
and that might have stopped him from doing
or having
or getting an abortion.
Or getting an exactly. That's true.
So what you said about the hate, I don't think it's hate. I feel, again, I don't have kids, so I don't know. You know, you two do.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel if it happens.
Sideshow probably has 2 or 3 out there he doesn't know about.
You miss Pie.
I'm sorry. I love his reaction. He's like,
don't mind him.
You know,
if you see him out there, lady,
I
and you know it's his kid. Sorry,
that's
Joey.
my baby daddy.
Then just go ahead and give us a call. I'll give you his phone number on the screen now. No, I'm just kidding. Just DM the page, the Instagram page. Timeless Talk PC. Sorry, JP. You were saying?
No worries. But again, I don't think somebody would hate their child. I just feel like there would be maybe some sort of trauma tied to the child.
Or resentment?
Something. I don't want to say resentment.
No, if it's resentment, it's hate.
Because I don't,
yeah, that's true.
I don't think you can resent somebody who didn't do anything to you. The child didn't.
Yeah,
I
that's
just feel
fair.
like it's almost like
innocent.
PTSD, like in a way, like maybe you might not always think about it, but maybe one day you're looking at him. If it does, you start to resemble the person, then you might have like a kind of like a breakdown moment. Again, I'm not religious. I'm also wouldn't, like I said, I'm not a Trumper. Sorry, guys. But when it comes to like the topic of abortion, like me myself, if I got somebody pregnant that I wasn't planning on, I wouldn't be close to. I wouldn't say, "Hey, let's get an abortion." I would be up for being in the kid's life, even if I'm not with them. But if I don't want this child.
Preference.
Yeah. I don't think it's my place as the man to argue with her. Like I would tell her, I think we should keep the child, we'll figure it out. But if she chose no, with where I'm at in life or whatever it might be, I don't think I can be a mother right now. I'm going to have an abortion. Like I would, accept that. Okay. Maybe not agree with it, because that's the thing. I feel like you can disagree with people. Everybody has different opinions on everything. Views on life, yeah. I just feel like there are such polarizing topics that people make it bigger than it needs to be. Like you can believe in abortion and me not. You can believe in gun control and me not. That doesn't mean that we're enemies or that we're any different. Like,
and it shouldn't be. Yeah, agree to disagree.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't put up this huge fight and be like, "Oh my God, you're having an abortion," when I don't believe in it. Like she does believe in it, and I think she has that right. Like she's the one who has to carry this baby. There's a different bond with moms and their kids. I honestly think that's true with dads and their kids. Like it's different for women. I 100% believe that.
Definitely.
So I do believe that it's their choice. Now, do I agree with abortion at all the time? No, but in the rape scenario, I think it's fine. Yeah. This woman did not want this child. This woman did not ask for this. If she doesn't want to have a child, even to have the child and then put it up for adoption, because that's a whole nother thing. Sometimes you get, after a while, when you have a kid, you can get attached to it because you have that child growing in you.
No, of course.
But if
there's a bond that's created.
I think there are scenarios, or if it's
or
for the mothers
after you have birth.
Yeah.
And this because Miss Pie, you can relate. You carry child. How many children do you have?
4.
She has 4, so she experienced it 4 times. You know how it is. You got another connection you have with your baby as it grows inside you, right? And then
even if you were to give it up for abortion, you still wonder, what is it doing?
Yeah, of course, naturally.
Whose personality does it have? There's things that you think about, and it does impact your life, because it's not like you aborted the child, you actually had the child.
Yeah.
You went through that. It's a sacrifice. to be honest.
It is.
You know, and piggybacking off the moral of it, you know, I mean, who are we to end a life?
That's true.
And I mean, it's one thing to have a miscarriage and then another thing to abort, you know, because life starts at 2 weeks. You have a heartbeat.
That's true. Do you guys, and this is a little off topic though. No, this is still on topic actually. What am I saying off topic? It's away from what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Before I move on, though, does anybody else want to chime in on that or put their last thoughts on the whole abortion idea for how it affects the moral compass?
I would say, well, I don't know. Everybody has different upbringing. So it's like everybody has their, you know, their way of doing things. But like based on how their moral compasses is set up, you know, I guess you can't really say what's right from wrong, right? Because everybody thinks different. Everybody has different standards.
Yeah. No one's equal.
But I would just say.
That's why that question of what dictates it so hard, man. Several things do, you know?
I was that child that was not wanted by his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
so rough. I couldn't put myself, or I could put myself in the baby's position that's about to get aborted. Like,
right.
I would say whether traumatic or this or that or that or that, for whatever reason, at the end of the day, they kind of don't want you. So I kind of hold myself to that standard. Like, even if I didn't, like you said, like, even if I didn't, like, I would never be for, I can't be for it. I can't. It's against how I'm set up. But the way society is set up, they're going to rule in favor of the women. So I get where you said you'd have to.
Yeah. And it's not even like I feel like I have to. And I don't put it on society. It's like that kid is not growing in me. The shit that women bodies go through growing a child, like if you don't want to do it, I get it. And like, I understand like there's difference. Like, let's say it's an accident, like a condom breaks, something. I think if you're out having unprotected sex over and over again and plan B or just like
we're not even doing that, just having unprotected sex.
You're asking for it to happen, like, and then to just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna abort it. It's like and I just feel like this topic's so broad
and it's
like
polarizing
you can
too.
Have like a 2-hour podcast just talking about
just about this. Yeah, you can
and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things. Like, and again, for me, it's if it was my kid. Like, dude, if you don't want to be part of the kid's life, I'll take the kid, you know, but
I'm the same way.
If she doesn't want to carry that child, like, who am I to force her
to carry it for 9 months and then
carry it for 9 months? Like, my plan would be to have kids eventually, you know, with
someone who wants
that I'm going to be with, you know, but if I have the opportunity, and like I said, maybe I told her, you don't have to be a part of the child's life, and if she wants to keep it, and I'll take the kid, perfect. If not, and her option is, you know, am I going to be 100% on board with it? No, but I'm also not going to make that choice. I don't feel like I have the right to make that choice.
That's fair. Oh, you respect your decision.
Off of back to religion, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do things. However, before you're intimate with somebody, you have to create a bond and a union. So therefore, any choice or decision that you guys make after that is strictly between you and your husband. And I say husband because they're supposed to be the head, you know.
Yeah. A
lot of people in our society, in our times nowadays, they don't get to know the person who they're dating.
Nope. They usually have sex with them on the first night. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Well, it's true. And she's just thinking similar wine. She's like, well, you went straight to the point.
She would just, you know,
yeah.
They don't understand, and they don't create that relationship
just want to
with
skip
the person. So therefore, after everything is all said and done,
they want to skip to that.
They done tasted the rainbow, and you know, and
they
now,
tasted the rainbow.
You know, and now that you've been open with this person, and then you know, come to find out you're pregnant, and now we have these serious talks. Now we have these, what do you believe in? What do I believe in? Which should have been established from the jump, you know? So therefore, I feel like if a person just take the time to get to know the person who they're going to be intimate with and take them serious, you know? And what do you believe in? And what do you what's your understanding? And who's your mom? Who's your dad? Like, get to know a person before you open your legs. And then now I'm pregnant, you know? Now you don't know who you carrying.
That's true. You always played yourself. Now you don't know who you carrying. Was it his? Was it his? Was it his? You know who you are out there, ladies. You know who you are out there, ladies. And for those that are doing it, watch yourself and close your legs. Be careful.
All I'm saying is, you know, back to religion. You know, you're not supposed to cross those boundaries until, you know, you form a relationship and a union with that person. And now it's understood that this is where we're headed.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where we're going. A lot of people don't do that anymore. So they get crossed up in the crossfires, and now we got to suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
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 You know, and I wholeheartedly believe if that's the life that you live and, you know, you're hooking up and you know that you're hooking up as a guy, I feel dude, wear a condom.
Yes.
Have a, like,
Have some responsibility in your
understand
bones.
that it doesn't feel the same.
Be somebody's
Whatever it might be.
son.
That's right. You tell him, JP.
Somebody's son.
If he's somebody's,
You know, whatever it might be, it's like you shouldn't are believing, oh yeah, I'm on the pill. Bro, you just met her. Don't
Yeah.
believe that. Like if you don't if you're not in the position where you want to have kids or can be a father, like then wear a condom.
Yeah.
Literally you get
if you're not willing to
can
take
get-
responsibility.
You can get 30 of them for like $20. Like it's not that expensive.
JP's
Put in
preaching.
diapers.
Saw you Gen
Yeah, it's
X's or
cheaper
Gen
than
is it
everything
Gen
else.
Z?
Like I believe it should be the man's responsibility for that protection because not only does
Yeah.
it protect,
No, I agree.
unless it rips, which there are accidents, but not only does it protect against pregnancies, you don't know how clean somebody is.
But how often does it rip?
Very rarely. Have you
Exactly. You have to be having some really hardcore fucking to rush it to
Or
rip.
that
Putting
shit
it
got to
over
be
the
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
for a long ass time.
Exactly.
Yeah, or it's
Well, that
just
too.
old, which means you're just not. You're just you don't got
Yeah.
game.
And if it's
Exactly.
slipping off, then
If it's that old, you got no game. I agree.
But yeah,
They got
I
those
just-
lambskin
just
ones.
Sometimes it does slip off though.
PSA.
It does slip off though. I agree with her. As long
Wear
as
a
it gets-
condom. You know, don't put yourself in that position to have to decide if you're gonna, take an unborn child's life or not, or whatever it might be. You know, because just why even put yourself in that position?
No, JP's right. You know, guys, he just gave you a PSA, and I'm going to second that PSA right now because
And
it's true.
And it's true, and it's just about taking responsibilities and accountability for your actions. Like me personally, I know I don't want any more kids, so I got my tubes tight. You know,
Hey, and that was very mature of you to do that.
right.
So now she can rock her.
Because if I did get pregnant again, I will have it because I don't believe in abortions. So I mean,
There you go.
morally, was it wrong for me to cut my tubes? Because
No.
who am I to say, God wanted more kids for me? But living in a lifestyle and generation and time that we're living in, we do have choices.
Miss Pye, are you single?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, with that being said, now that you know, Miss Pye's
a dating website now.
Miss Miss Pye is available, but she has standards and she ain't gonna open her legs just to anybody. Okay. So if you're watching this,
How could they get in contact with you?
Miss Pye.
Timeless talk.
There you go.
Oh.
I'll let her know. She's saying DM Timeless Talk PC on Instagram, and we'll let her know. And then she'll make a judgment call from there. And if you get a nice DM from her, then then she's interested for a date.
All right, slideshow. You gotta go, man. Good. I don't want you getting fired, bro.
Do you got time
Yeah,
still?
right. No. Yeah,
He's calling off.
I'm gonna get going.
Yeah.
Hey, don't listen to him.
Yeah. Woo.
Huh?
Accountability.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Because if I was your girl, I'd be like,
Fuck that. You calling off.
no, we not.
I'm sorry. That was an accident again. All right. Anyway, I have too much fun with that. Slideshow. How much time do you really have left, though?
No, it's time.
It's time now? Man, is there anything you want to say, though, quick before you take off, though? And you guys, it's not a recurring habit. It's just that now, we got to starting a little bit earlier so we keep our boy on for the whole duration of the episode. But today was a little late, but that's okay. So just say something for our audience to know that this is not a new habit or anything like that.
Before I
ahead.
say something, I want to ask y'all something.
Go ahead.
So is it possible to, no matter which way all of our moral compasses point, is it still possible to coexist? Let me say it like that. Yes or no?
It has to be. Because we all are different. No one's created equal. We all have our different opinions. We all come from different backgrounds. So it's only right to respect everybody's opinion, their lifestyle, their religions, and everything else that comes behind it. And that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, what about you, JP?
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I know like humans as a race haven't been around for so long compared to like the earth, but we're still here. We're continuing to thrive. And I know from beginning of time, people have differences on, whatever it might be. And I just feel right now we're living in a time where everybody feels so strongly about their beliefs. And that's what kind of causes this, tension between, religions, between political parties, between, boomers and Gen Z and Gen Y and millennials. Like, I just feel which is great. Know what you believe in and that's your truth, live your truth. But I feel people don't have a right to, just sweep other people's beliefs under the rug. Like, everybody believes what they want to believe. I don't believe the same stuff that I believed when I was, 18 years old. Like, my beliefs and my view on life has changed. So it's like, you didn't always feel the way that you did about certain topics now. So it's like, why are you going to judge somebody because they still feel some way that you don't believe in? Like, I feel like people are too, they're too quick to want to start an argument or want to be on opposite sides. It's like, okay, let's work together. Let's just live peacefully. Like, it's going to be like that till the end of time. So, like, why are you guys making it a big deal? And,
so many people want to create their own business, own lifestyle, on everything, but they don't understand that there is power in working in numbers.
Yep.
And piggybacking off of that is, you got to understand, like, even though, you may have different views on what you may believe in, it took me going to college and learning different religions and, not being naive to what I was raised in. Like, okay, well, yeah, I'm a Christian. However, there's so many other different religions out here, and who am I to say I like that one and I like this one too. And hey, I'm just, living life. So at this point, as long as I believe in a higher power, everything is everything.
Yes, they can coexist then.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I feel okay. What was the question again about what coexisting is?
He's like,
not even paying attention.
I was paying attention, man. I just forgot the first part of the question. Sorry.
The alcohol's too strong.
Right.
Man, no, time for another glass. But anyway, what were you saying though again? What was the first part of that question? I'm sorry.
With all the moral compasses that we have existing in this day, is it still possible to coexist with one another?
Oh yeah, no, okay, yeah. I did hear it right. I just wanted to make sure. Anyway, yeah, man. I think that they can. I think nowadays we're in a society where people don't want to be told they can't do something anymore or they can't. You know what I'm saying? That people are actually speaking up for themselves. So I think there's a benefit and a downside to that because of cancel cultures. Like like we talked about before, they're unfortunately canceling things that are just should be viewed as minute and ignored. And, not really microscoped on. So I think with that being existing and that actually being a thing, right? Now we're in a day and age where people speak, stand up for themselves and they speak their mind and what their truths are now. So I think that now that it's more out in the open and it's not as hidden anymore, you can coexist because there's some honesty in that. You see what I'm saying? On both sides. So will both sides always agree with each other? Never. That's never going to be a thing, unfortunately. But can they coexist?
The world we live in.
Yeah. So can we coexist? Yeah, because people at this table might not all believe in the same thing, but we're not killing each other. So yeah, that's proof alone right there that it can coexist, in my opinion.
We're doing it every day.
Yeah.
We all have our alcoholics. We all have our drug addicts. But at the same time, if they weren't in our family, where would we be?
Okay, so we need them for an example of what not to be.
Not even,
He be on his shit though.
but it's hard. It's not even that because like that could to them that could be this is the right path. Like what's a really big one? Like an Andrew Tate. How many people
he is big right now.
How many people hate that guy and hate the way that he thinks? But to him,
yeah,
that's how he's lived his life.
No, you're right.
And look where it's gotten him. So I can see why people would believe, hey, let me listen to this guy because he has millions of dollars and
that's true.
The Bugattis and all of this. And
he has an influence.
He has his beliefs.
Because he has his stuff.
His beliefs. Like I don't agree with everything that guy comes out of that guy's
Not everything, but some things.
But to not listen to it, like, okay, if you don't agree with him, then you don't agree with him. He doesn't agree with what you say, but he's not over here trying to cancel your life. Like I don't agree with the cancel culture when it comes to just not agreeing with beliefs.
I agree.
Like, I understand there are topics or things like that you do, like Kanye and the whole anti-Semitism.
It's true though.
Chill out, chill out, yay. But like to just not to cancel somebody because you don't believe with how they view the world.
Yeah.
Then you're going to cancel everybody else but yourself. You'll cancel your sister.
Yeah.
I know that you don't believe the same that your sisters do. Or your
no, that's
brothers
facts.
do. Your mom and your dad. So if you had the option to cancel them, would you? No, because they're family.
Exactly. You find a way to coexist.
Yeah, and then without them, it's like, damn, I'm missing something.
Exactly. So what were you going to say, though, right on the slide?
I was saying, piggybacking off of the congregation and everything, have you heard of someone named Jim Jones? He was He led the not the rapper.
Oh, okay.
He led a congregation, and everybody in this congregation had to drink some form of.
Oh yeah.
They took him down to.
And if you didn't agree,
he died, didn't he? They all died, didn't he?
Yeah. Kids.
That's crazy. He killed people, bro.
And then he didn't even drink it himself. That's what's
What a
crazy.
sicko, right? And he murdered all those people, bro, and
And
convinced
if
them.
you didn't agree, you got murdered. So is that morally?
So you were dead either way.
Period.
Like I said, people, and the thing with the religions, people saw what he was preaching as their religion. So that's
As
where it
their
comes
truth.
down to religions it's just religion is just such a,
It's a sacrifice.
yeah, it's one of those things
But
where.
but then again, the word of God, the Bible does talk about religion and how Christ hated it. Do you remember that? There was a section where Jesus actually would call people, Pharisees in particular. I'm gonna paraphrase here. He'd be like, "Go practice your religion over there. I'm over here speaking truth." Damn, bro, just let it flat out. I mean, like he's just like, "Go over there. That's religion." I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but
See,
he did do that. What was he talking about?
Even Jesus said, "The word is a two-edged sword."
Yeah.
People have picked up that sword and used it for good, and they've used it for evil.
Yeah.
But one thing still remains: truth is still truth.
I mean, look at that was the whole
strong
premise.
ending.
Yeah, that's a good ending, brother. Because you know what? Real quick before you take off, that's what the premise for the book of Eli was.
Right.
Think about it. That guy, you guys have seen it, right? With Denzel Washington. The whole premise of that movie is that the bad guy was after the Bible so he could use it for all the wrong reasons. And Eli's quest from God was to get it as far west to that island as he could, fast as he could, because he knew it'd be in safe hands there, away from people like that wanted to use it for the wrong reasons, man.
Right.
But yeah, all right. With that being said, brother, do you got anything you want to add to that?
I love that ending.
That was a
I
good
love
one,
what
though.
you said.
That's powerful, man.
I'm just ending like this because I think really we're talking about moral compasses,
Right.
Yeah.
but it sounds like what we're really talking about is just the different type of
Rights and wrongs.
divisions there are in the world. Like what divides us?
I think that's what divides us, though, is people's different
Yeah.
moral
Right.
compasses. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? At the end of the day, right? Everybody's individual moral compass is what divides us as people.
and like we said, what
And
kinda
brings
like
us together.
Yeah.
structures your
That
compass.
too. You're right, that too.
Religion is a big thing for people's moral compasses who have one. It's a different thing. Like the whole, I know you got to leave, like Mormons,
Yeah.
not being able to get like blood transfusions, or Scientology.
That's
was a big
nuts,
one.
bro.
That was a recent one because like Scientology, like John Travolta, when his wife was dying of cancer, he was taking her to all the doctor's appointments, getting her all the treatments, but they don't believe in that. And he didn't give two shits. Would I? Nope. Like it blows my mind. Like
Facts.
to the
How
it's a-
fast your thoughts and
Yeah, like,
decisions
just
and
some people
your beliefs
genuinely
change.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where like
That's a good point. Good job, JP. That was a very
it's
good
just like,
example.
I get it.
It goes out the window under circumstance.
I don't hold it against anybody to have their beliefs, but like I said, I can't. There are certain things like
Under certain
I don't agree
circumstances.
with, and that's why I never say
changes.
like I'm a Catholic, or people ask like I was raised Catholic, but
Yeah.
when they ask your religion, because there's a lot of things in Catholicism that I don't believe
Yeah.
or I don't agree with, and it just doesn't sit well with me. So I feel like I can't say I'm a Catholic if I don't believe.
Yeah,
and,
no, that's
follow
fair.
it to a T. Like
And I'm optimistic. So, like I said, it took me going to college and learning different religions to be like,
Yeah, it kind of sparked a little bit of interest in that.
what do you believe in? And what do you believe in? And,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, what do you
interested.
believe in? You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Oh, man. Yo, Oprah over here, right?
Last thing I'm gonna say.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Last thing I'm gonna say is I think oftentimes they forget the agenda of the Christian God is to love, like even without looking at the sin, because we know that God hates the sin and not the sinner, right?
Yeah.
Because he said even the most righteous of our acts and deeds is still like a filthy rag.
Yeah.
So if we could just learn to love and accept, even though we're different,
Yeah.
Then
That's
you got
facts.
John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son,
Yeah.
that whosoever, that's if you want to believe, if you want to believe, it's there. If
Because he
you
was
want it.
selfless.
And he wasn't forceful.
And
Like
he
we try to do. But
he doesn't want people to just, he wants you to come willingly, right?
yeah, willingly. Well, yeah, not forcibly. So like I said, my last thing is, just love. Love covers a multitude of sin.
And Kendrick said at the end of that song, Faith, man, Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if you guys ever heard that song, Faith. At the very end, he's like, I'd rather not live like there isn't a God than die and find out there really is. Think about it. And then the song ends.
Period.
That's facts, though, low key, bro. Think about it. Like,
even when it comes to
you are real.
And I know
Shit.
you have to leave. But even when it comes to raising kids, like, a lot of the time they're going to do stuff that you don't like. But do you love them even more or less?
Sometimes I want to hang my daughter outside the window, but I still love her.
Right.
We'll never actually do it.
As they get older,
yeah,
little kids, you got little problems. But when they start getting bigger, you got bigger problems.
Yeah, I feel it.
And that rope gets tighter.
I don't feel it yet. But I feel you on that one. I feel like it's coming, but
I
yeah.
met your daughter. She's so lovable.
I know, now she is.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. But all right, brother, with that being said, we appreciate you, brother.
Oh,
thank you for being here with us, man, as always. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we have you every week, bro. What you mean? Come on now.
All right, then.
All right, brother. See you.
All right. Good seeing you.
All right, guys. So we're back. Slideshow took off. We'll be back for the next episode, for the full episode. He had some things to take care of, but we'll continue.
Yes, we will.
And in case you guys haven't noticed, within the frame has changed. Besides us playing musical chairs, myself and JP are wearing our old Letterman jackets from high school. So, hey, man, shout out to us because, we earned these. I like those Letterman jackets. Thank you. Appreciate that. My boy has more accolades than me, clearly. I only have like one fucking patch as opposed to his 15 patches.
So what are the patches symbolize?
Yeah, we're going to start with that, brother. You go ahead and explain what each one means, man. Just so you guys know before he does that, for the record, we went to Knight High School. So, shout out
Knight High
School. Shout out to Knight High School, class of 2010. Yo.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Keep it going. All right, sorry.
2010?
2010.
That's us. Whoa. What about you? 09?
09. I don't want to say.
You got to say, come on.
03.
Damn. I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm saying.
But she looked good for her age, though, right, y'all?
2010, I had a 1-year-old. Okay.
She was like, y'all were babies.
I would have said,
baby.
I would have said max 2007.
7.
Yeah, real talk.
Bless your heart.
I will say this, though. You know what? They write about the whole black don't crack shit. I'm just being real. You don't look old, girl.
Slideshow looks like he just came out.
I'm being real. You not. Even if they said the number was, they be wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You look good for your age.
Thank you.
But anyway, you're saying, but anyway, we go back to what we were saying, guys. Go ahead. JP, sorry about cutting you off there. Just want to let them know what school we went to. What do the patches mean, brother? Break them down.
I mean, like Andrew said, AJ said I got a couple more than he does. But we both got the football.
Yeah. We both lettered in football.
Yeah, so you get the football. So pretty much, if you're varsity for a sport or whatever, you get a letter. So the first one's always like a little item. So like me and Andrew both got the football. I also did track, so I got a little track shoe here. And then you got, bars underneath it, and that pretty much just is an additional year. So if you did all 4 years, you'll have the football plus 3, whatever it might be. And, I have some here for like academic stuff, which is lame, I know. But, I got the academic letter, I got like a captain's letter, and I got some GPA letter and stuff like that. So clearly I was a nerd as well, not just playing sports.
Don't matter, bro. Fuck it. Nerd or not, man.
Ain't nothing lame about education.
Brother. You get a hand clap. Hey, man, praise where praise is needed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of athletes out there are lazy as fuck. So my boy wasn't lazy. I'll give you props, bro. And not just that, we give you props. Not just that, man. It's like the accolade, though, they had one of them wrong. Because you should have 4 bars under that football, man. Yeah, technically, because my boy went up there even freshman year. He didn't play much, but so what? You still won.
I went back and forth on it if I wanted to give myself that 4th bar, but I kind of just went with the years that I was starting versus the years that I actually played. So I mean, I was there.
So 3 then, technically.
Yeah, so technically
3 starting. That's still good, man.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, because his freshman year, I remember I was proud of this guy, man. He made the fucking varsity team. His freshman year, our first year of fucking football, man. I remember. I was happy to even make the freshman squad. I'm like, yeah. And Joey's like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, fuck, varsity. What the hell? When did that happen? Yeah, man, to like it to you, were over there center, right? Did you get a lot of playing time, though, freshman year as a varsity player, or did you just...
no. I mean, the varsity center, I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'10". The varsity center was over 6 feet. He's a big guy.
You think he was offended at all? Like he had a freshman as his backup?
I don't think so. I mean, he knew he wasn't going to lose his job. It's not like I came up as competition. I just came up as more of a backup situation.
It was a learning situation for you.
Yeah, just more to learn and kind of get the speed change of the game versus freshman. Because in all honesty, like I didn't really play football up until high school. Like I wasn't even a freshman starter when we started. Remember that fool Jabari?
Oh, Jabari, yeah.
He was the one starting at my position at the beginning of the year.
Oh, he was.
Yep. And then he got hurt some point in the middle, and they're like, all right, who wants to play center? And, I volunteered, and the rest.
Is that how that happened? I was going to ask you a story because I remember Jabari. You remember that shit, bro?
Exactly
bro,
he's ready.
Yeah, he'd run up. I remember that shit. Goofy ass motherfucker. I'm just kidding. Hey, Jabari Jackson, man, if you watching this,
shout out to
you, brother. We'll give you a hand clap, man, because you were a good dude, bro. You were a tough guy. You smelled really bad, like you needed to brush your teeth, shit, especially in the huddle. But you know what, my boy, you held it down as our starter for the center, man.
The most backhanded compliment.
That was an asshole, huh? I'm just kidding, man. I'm sorry.
That's how it went down. We didn't have a backup center, and when he went down, they're just like, okay, who thinks they can play?
Yeah.
So we practiced some snaps. They're like, all right.
How did he? What happened to him again? Why did he go down?
I have no idea. Who knows what it was? Maybe a knee, maybe an ankle.
Yeah, that's right. He did get hurt, huh?
But yeah, and it was just kind of from there. It just went. And
dude, I remember that Jabari Jackson. All right, I'm done. I'm done shitting on you, bro. Hey, man, real talk though. Shout out to you, man. You opened the gates here for my boy, and then I was his backup.
Yeah.
So I remember I was a starter.
I was gonna say when you weren't hurt.
Yeah, when I wasn't hurt. Yeah, fuck. Sorry, we're having a little reminiscing here. I'm sorry about that, Miss Pie. So we, not to leave you out of the situation or the conversation, but we're having a little reminisce, right here in this moment because, and back then it's like I didn't take offense to it because my boy was good, so I got my starting time on defense, thankfully, and I was a starting D tackle, so I took that for what it was. And then I know that I learned a lot of that with the help of, I should just say his name, Gabriel. Mr. Espinoza out there, man. Yo, what's up, brother? No one knows. That's so bad.
Shout out, Gabriel.
I had to fuck with you, Gabe. I'm just kidding, man. Congratulations to you too, man, because you got me out of my shell, bro. Not only him, those two gentlemen were a lot to me. This guy right here to my left. And then Gabriel was a lot too. Him and I haven't always seen eye to eye on things, but I know that back when we were playing together, he kind of helped me get out of my shell in the defensive area because I didn't know too much. I was so focused on the offensive side of things and trying to learn plays. He kind of just taught me to have more of a blast, more of a fun time, and just when you're on the line, just your ideal goal is to just crack the fucking quarterback, get through there if you can, just toss people around. And I actually have fun doing that. So that's why defensive tackle and starting at that was enough for me. Okay. It was cool, Right. Yeah. So aside from that, we'll get more into our stories from the past a little later. But is there anything else you wanted to add to that before we continue on? Or
no, man. Good times. Like I said, there's lots of stories that I'm sure we can talk about.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
They'll come.
But what about you? Yeah, exactly. What about you, though, Miss Pie? What was your high school life like? You need to break that down for us a little bit. Give us a little history lesson right now. This is the part of the episode where we're going to delve into our past. We're literally dressed for the part right now.
Past, well, I ran track. I went to Poly.
Polytech?
Poly, not Long Beach.
I was going to say
Sun Valley. Sun Valley.
Wait, that's Polytechnic, right? The Parrots?
Yeah.
Yo, my dad went to high school there.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yo. Hey, shout out to the Parrots. No, real shit. My dad went to school. He has, man.
He's like, Poly. Yes, Poly.
No offense.
Polytechnic.
That's like the worst mascot to have.
A fucking parrot?
A parrot.
Why?
Hey, he's beastie, though. He has his chest out.
You know what I'm saying?
Of all the birds available. This is not a parakeet, I guess, but.
Yo.
Well, he ain't nothing like no
He said, was there any other parrots? I should have gave you this, bro. He said, is there any other birds available?
Not my choice, but I ran track.
Too late. I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I ran track.
Oh, you ran track.
Yeah,
okay, got track star.
I did the 1s and the 2s, and then I did the high jump,
Yeah, I did not run, just to throw that out there.
You did not run?
Too big to run.
Wow.
Shot put and discus over here.
That's right.
Track,
fat man events, but.
I wasn't the fastest. Although, one story, my brother, he wants to bet on his little sister. He wanted me to race against this girl. I'm like, I'm down for it. I'm ready. She dusted me. I was like,
damn.
whoa. And when you run track, everything burns. You can't sit down. You can't stand up. You can't walk. Everything just burns. And I'm just like, whoa, my brother like shaking his head.
I believe it. So did you do that because you enjoyed it? That was actually what you wanted to do? Or?
Well, my dad ran track, and he was like all time, like, he just had the talent for it. So I'm just like, hey, I'll try it out. Because
Kinda
my
like
brother
naturally
played
gravitated.
football.
Yeah, so you naturally gravitated towards it.
Yeah, no, not naturally, because
She said unnaturally.
I like making money. I'm like, but,
okay, look at you.
So I tried it out, but I had other things, in my agenda. So
like, I gotta go make money.
right.
I gotta hustle during these times that you guys are trying to just.
Right,
I understand that. I get it. So with that being said, you guys, I want to move back real quick back to the moral compass conversation, and I want to ask you guys now, what societal terms do you guys think they set? Earlier we were talking about when Slideshow was still here with us about how that impact, it's atheists and believers now in the mix, right? Coexisting in this world. Mm-hmm. Now, the moral compasses, do you guys believe that they established our laws? And what kind of impact do you guys feel like these people have, and whose job is it really?
I don't know.
I understand the laws are the laws, right?
Right.
And they're supposed to be voted in by us, but someone has to make that bill. Right. So who appoints those people? People that are in Congress, right? They create the bills and then they put them out.
I think it's already created. I don't
think so. So you think that us having a choice is a joke, and we just go by whatever their moral compass is? And what do you think?
My truth, and I just feel like it's already predetermined. They already know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And I just feel like giving the people a right to vote. Yeah, they have an opinion, but everybody has one, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, who's the decision maker? Just like we got a president, but he's just a dictator. He don't run anything but his signature at the end of the day.
That's facts.
The Congress gotta, make the decisions.
And they're usually the ones that pull the trigger anyway. Damn, that's real.
So, honestly speaking, I just feel like, everybody has their own agenda. And, whatever best suits the times and whatever they're going through, whenever it passes the laws they want to pass, that's what they're going to go with.
Yeah, no, you're right. What about you, though, JP?
I think piggybacking off of that, I do agree. I think that regardless of what people say when they're trying to get elected, like everybody has their agenda, everybody has their beliefs. Not everybody's going to believe the same thing. They're going to kind of say what they think they need to say to be able to get the vote. In the long run, I guess it's still good that we have that because clearly, there's Republicans and Democrats and independents in our Congress and Senate who don't agree and stuff doesn't get passed. Something that maybe the Republicans want or the Democrats want, and they might not agree on it. But I do agree. Everybody has their own things. I'm sure that there are things that they all believe in and they all want passed and they just kind of time it, be like, okay, now's the time to kind of push this through. And then it gets to there. Technically the president can veto it if he wanted to, but the odds of that happening, unless it's something just super polarizing, probably aren't going to happen. It's an unfortunate thing. Yeah. I do still believe that their term should be capped because how many people over the age of 55 are there in Congress and Senate? And I just think times have changed that have been there for 20 years. I feel like just like the president, Congress should be capped at, even if it's more than 8 years, they should still be capped because times are changing, beliefs are changing, our country as a whole are changing, but we still have these old people, making decisions and their beliefs are different than a lot of the younger people. That's just I think a state just passed some sort of legislation like that with this recent vote. Yeah. To put a cap on it. It was Montana or North Dakota or something like that. They put a cap on their Senate seats to only be 6 years or something.
About fucking time. Let's be honest, man. How many times you guys noticed that they're there till they're old and gray? Yeah. And it's fuck, how many terms have you been here for? Since I was 8 years old? Damn.
When you got married, you had to jump the broom, right? Literally jump the broom.
Yeah.
It's until they die or until they...
No, you're right. That's what it is, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of these laws nowadays are petty. Seriously, we need to really start talking about something that matters. Real life situations. Instead of gossiping and, programming and all this other stuff, we really need to talk about things that matter because I have kids. It's a lot of things that I really don't like my child or children watching YouTube because everything is programmed. What? I don't agree with it.
I don't know. I agree with that. That's just true.
So I just feel like a lot of laws nowadays is not really important. And I think that we should be focused on other things that really is going to make a difference in society and the nation and everything else other than, what color should I change my hair, or, you know, things like that. Like, or who's sleeping with who, like, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, that's facts too. And the thing about that too, that you notice most of the news nowadays, they focus on that. The TikTok. Oh, did you hear about this? I don't care. They don't give a fuck about us. Why do we give so much? Is it because it's entertaining?
But at the same time,
some people do though.
Program the nation. Only they do because it's in their face.
Yeah.
If they didn't see it on TV, if they didn't hear it on the radio, would they care about it as much as not hearing about it?
And this is all tied into morality too. Yeah. So, what do you think, JP? What are your thoughts on that?
Like, I don't watch the news. It's a personal
cesspool.
Like I'll watch local news every now and then just to kind of see what's going on in my general. But like if you watch like the big news, or even try to read, you know, news stories, now everything's online. And it's even said, like, I've read articles and stories from people from other countries, like how almost like reality TV our news is.
Right.
Like they make it to where they only focus on like these big polarizing and making it bigger than it actually is. Mm-hmm. Like if you go and watch news in other countries, like over in Europe and stuff like that, like the news isn't like that. The news is just, you know, everyday general, oh, this happened or this happened. But like everything on our news, whether it's Fox, NBC, CNN, it's all, it all has an agenda, unfortunately. And, you know, that plays into this divide that I feel like is a big thing right now in our country.
Everything in this nation has been.
It is. I feel like that too. That's true.
They feed us garbage. You know, a lot of the other countries, they wouldn't allow it. Australia, you know, like even with TikTok, you know, they feed us the garbage, and then in their country, they get the intellect, scientists, technology, information that they really need for their society to succeed. Now we get people jumping in pools, people, you know, trying to eat cinnamon, you know,
the cinnamon challenge,
come. And then you get people or kids like mine that try it.
Tide Pods.
Yeah, Tide Pods.
You heard about that, right?
A few years ago.
Exactly.
They just self kids. What is this shit? A few years ago, remember that shit? And the kids were eating that shit. That's poisonous.
Yeah.
It just looks like candy. What?
Yeah, I just feel like
true story.
We need to focus more on.
I get a call from the nurse.
No.
My kids.
Let's hear this.
Saying that, we just had to make your son throw up because he ate some candy that hurt his stomach. I'm like, what? Let me talk to him. Because I know he know better. You know what he said? They said it's going to foam in my mouth, so I tried it. Like, are you kidding me? Now, that would have been candy. The main reason. I don't know what the hell it was, but I know it made his stomach hurt. Yeah. And they're like, you know, well, if a kid feels like they got to throw up, we're going to make him throw up. And I'm like, no, he bringing his ass home. Because if he wants to act like a 2-year-old and I got to watch what he puts in his mouth, then he's coming home. Yeah. He's like, no, Mom, please don't pick me up. No, you're coming home. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that one. That's my biggest fear, and this kind of goes into morality. No, actually, it does. So I'm gonna put it out there real quick. What do you guys think? JP, you can chime in on this. Is what you would do when you have your child, and Miss Pie, you can chime in because you already have one. So obviously you can relate to this. You got 4, so she had 4 shots already on this, at this. So let me ask you guys this: morality, right? Teaching your kid. How would you feel? Because you know you said something so key earlier, Miss Pie. You raise your child, right? You don't know what this kid's going to be. You said, right, the kid's a mystery in the womb, right? And the kid's a mystery in the womb. And she said this off the record, guys. I'm saying it on the record now. She made a good point. You spend 9 months growing this child, right? You don't know what it's going to be. Boy or girl, doesn't matter, right? You just don't know what it's going to end up being. So what do you do as a good parent? You raise it right? You teach them all the good things you know that you were taught. You pass on whatever you actually agreed with from your parents, right? I'm sure you're going to pass it on to your child, right? You're going to teach them things that you wanted to know, and you're going to try to mold them into the person morally, right, that you would want them to be in the world, right?
Right.
What do you do when you do all of that and you teach your kid go right, go right, go right, go right, and then they go left, and they just go left, and your child becomes, I'm just going to be very vulgar when I say this, guys, and Lord, I hope this is not the case for anybody I know or myself. The daughter, she becomes a whore, porn star, does everything that's opposite of what you taught her, just slutty on the street, fails in all her grades, fails at school, doesn't even want to be a part of society, just everything completely opposite of what you taught her. That happens. Or your son, same thing, except that you said instead of that, maybe it's not porn, maybe it's not being a whore, maybe it's being in gangs, gang banging or killing people or robbing people or hustling people, doing all the wrong shit. That's my biggest fear too if I have a son one day, You know what I'm saying? Aside from having a daughter. So it's like those things right there. I think it's heartbreaking as a parent that you can bust your ass and show them the right way. But all you could really do at the end of the day is hope they take your advice.
Right.
And it's kind of a very sobering thought, right? Like, damn, no matter what you do.
Because I'm a realist and I feel like
right?
this.
So what do you guys think? How do you react to that and how do you handle that situation?
I can only give you the ropes. It's up to you if you're going to hang yourself or create something out of those ropes.
So you can rest easy with that. I respect it.
I'm going to rest easy because
That's
I know
good.
I did my job and my due diligence, and you're not
Right
going to
there.
guilt trip me.
That's actually what I was going to say.
You're not going to guilt trip
That's how you stay
me,
sane,
period.
right? Because at the end of the day, you love your seed and you want them to be the best they can be. You want them to be better than you, right? You want them to be better than what you were
But if they
in your
have
life.
different thoughts
Aspirations.
and aspirations and point of views about life, then they're going to have to suffer the consequences of those point of views, because I'm not finna go down in my grave thinking that, oh, what if I would have been a better parent?
Yeah.
We only have the time that we have, and if what I'm telling you, this time that we have, it's up to you to take what I'm telling you and then create your own life out of it.
That's true.
Because, even with anybody else, and I can, my mom raised me right, but it was my decision to make the choices that I made. Of course, my grandma, she's like, you're going to be a lawyer. I'm a security officer. With aspirations.
Not that you've already, not that you failed because of that. You didn't take her
fail.
route.
No,
You're not a failure.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not
I
that
have
you're saying that you are.
businesses as well,
I know you do.
But
You a hustler, girl. Go ahead. Sorry,
so,
continue.
But all I'm saying is you are what you are.
Yeah.
Regardless of the aspiration that your parent have set for you. I can't live through you.
Facts.
And you didn't live through my grandma. My grandma didn't live through you. So it's like, you can only take what I have to offer or the decisions that I've made for myself.
Or they take the road that you didn't take and they find all that out on their own.
Period.
Yeah. Damn. What?
Because it's like this. Like, my mom taught me right. But if I chose to break a law and go to jail, there's nothing that my mom can do or say to get me out of that.
Yeah, that's facts.
Because I got to take the consequences
For those choices.
The choices that I've made. And hey.
That's hard to swallow. Pill swallow, but it's
and
tough.
that's why I didn't,
true pill.
I wasn't that person who, did wrong. Because it's like, I don't want to do, go to jail. I don't want to.
That was enough, right?
It was enough. And not
that's
only
what the second part of my
but,
question is going to be.
I got caught smoking weed in the 5th grade.
Oh.
I was just saying, like, being that what I teach my kids and how they gonna grow up to be. My mom taught me righteousness, even though my mom was 16 when she had me, so she was a child having a child. But I got caught smoking weed.
Yeah.
I got arrested and went to jail or whatever, and that showed me and taught me like this is not the route that I want to take. So therefore, it's just like I learned at an early age, like do right.
Yeah.
And I tell my son, you do good, you're gonna get good. If you do bad, you get it bad.
Yes.
So
you're
do
right.
unto
You're
others
right.
as you want done to you. And
Yeah, no, that's true. One of the golden rule. The golden rule is the golden rule for a reason, right?
Right.
All right. With that being said, though, what about you, JP? Same question, man.
Yeah, I don't have kids yet.
Yeah, so it's a little different perspective. But what would you do in that scenario?
But I mean, it's kind of similar, piggybacking off of what Miss Pie said. It's like you can only give what you can give them. You teach them from a young age. You teach them, your beliefs, or even not beliefs, but just like in general society, what's accepted as right and wrong. Like you don't do this, you don't kill people. You don't hustle, you don't not hustle, but you don't like join gangs and kill people and sell drugs and do this and do that. But in the long run, like we, as people, as humans, we have free will to make our own decisions. And, you may not agree with it. Like the way that I see it is I'll love my kid regardless of their choices. I can't ever see myself ever saying, I'm done with you.
Disowning.
Yeah. Like disowning, like maybe I try my best to like separate.
It would have to be a lot, right,
but,
to get you there.
But they're always going to be my kid. And like, it's going to be really difficult when you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore for
That's
you.
tough. Yeah.
I love you, but you're on your own. But I feel like as long as you do your best, like, and you just hope for the best, it's one of those things. Like, I think that scares me at the thought of becoming especially with how like the world is right now and like how, kind of like the direction it goes. It's like, you don't know what's going to happen, but I think you just do your best as a parent. You don't second guess, like, could I have been a better parent? It's the same thing with like relationships. Oh, could I have been a better partner for them? Like, if you're a good partner or not,
Right.
if you're a good parent, like you're going to make mistakes. Even I'm sure being a 4-time parent, there's still things that with the fourth kid, you probably thought, damn, like that maybe it was a mistake. You know?
Oh, the fourth one is the worst.
Damn.
So I think it's just doing your best and, trying to give them as much guidance as you can. And even if they're still making decisions that you don't agree with, still try to give them that guidance. If they, like AJ said, if they choose to take it, they'll take it and maybe learn from it. If they choose not to take it and ignore you, then they're going to have to deal with their consequences. Maybe like for you, like some people, maybe they need to go to jail for 30 days and see what it's like being in jail to be like, hey,
exactly.
like, I don't want this. Like,
Exactly.
I can't, I'm not about this life. Like,
Yep.
I get this money.
I was
I
too
get this.
bougie for jail.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what you want me to put on that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Exactly.
gross.
And it makes you wonder because it's like, that's what needed to happen though. For some people, like, sorry, do you have more? I don't want to.
No, like I said, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's probably hit it on the head. And I just think it comes down to who they hang around. I feel like if there's like somebody in the family who has that, sometimes kids tend to grab onto because they're edgy or they're flashy.
Yeah.
But like
they
they're,
gravitate
they're,
towards
they're
it.
in and out of jail. Like you don't want to. And it's just when
Yeah.
I was lucky enough.
That's
to where
not, it's not cool. Yeah. It's not what you think it
My
is.
family growing up was really like that type of person.
Yeah.
But I know people who they had that person who was like in a gang and
It's a misinterpretation.
They just followed suit. Oh yeah, I'm in and out of jail. Like it's no big thing, but like it is a big thing. Like you don't know how that's affecting your parent. You don't know how that's affecting your siblings. If you have any, your family in general,
Going to court, sending money, sending letters and all that
it's
other
just
stuff.
like-
Wondering like, is he okay? Getting locked down and all that other stuff. Yeah, I totally understand.
Tell me who your friends are. I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
100%, right? I think about it. It's like,
I'm a popular loner.
there
But
you
the
go.
thing is like,
Did you say popcorn loner? Is that what you said?
no, I didn't. I said
Okay.
popular.
Oh, popular loner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, as
See
a
what you did there.
parent, everybody gravitate on success. I want my child to be perfect. I want my child to be the number one. I want my child to bring in awards and trophies and other. I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's all cool and dandy. But I want to see your mistakes. I want to see your failures. I want to see your wrongs. I want to see your imperfections only because I know what you can do right. But let me see that so I can start working on what you can do wrong.
Yeah.
And all of us, we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our failures. We learn from that stuff.
Yeah.
So who are we to say, be perfect? Because a lot of those perfect angels are not perfect.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like my mom, I don't want you hanging with her. I don't want you hanging.
Yeah.
But I'm the bad influence. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. That's just.
I'm her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
I feel you.
Hey, I'm gonna live life.
And that's really what it is though, and that's why I'm like, I feel like that's the part of it too. Like you tell me who your friends are, tell you who you are, but at the same time, it's like you at the end of the day have your own, choice in the matter, right? I'm sure you guys agree. So you can be sure you might be surrounded by not the best crowd sometimes, but you might be the best influence on those people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You could be the light in their life. You know what I'm saying? Not even you might be the turning point for someone like that's in a bad space, right? Because they're bad
Or you
people,
could be
whatever.
the bad influence, like
Or that- yeah, or you could be the one.
Don't want
Yeah.
my kid hanging around you. Right?
Exactly. It could easily flip that easily.
You know?
And there's just so many different ways you can go with that because it's so true, when it comes to that particular thing.
I'm a realist, and I know it's some good in me.
I mean,
but
yeah.
I got it in me.
Yeah, I believe it. And my grandpa said something, it was funny, man, because, and I'm not surprised, man, my cousin David's dad, he was kind of like how his son is. His son's always getting into some type of trouble. I love you, David. I know you watch the show. But it's like, there's a story, I don't know if your pops ever told you this, but there's a story that my dad told me about his brother, right? That he would always be getting caught doing stupid shit. Like he was sneaking back at the room after being out with girls, hoeing, whatever. He'd be climbing through the window. My grandfather was so on it that he was waiting by the door in the room. He already knew he was coming in. Something about Cuban parents, man. I don't know what it is. They're built different. They got a different kind of blood to run through their veins, man. I don't know. Why the fuck are you up right now, man? I would look at my dad
Why
like,
the fuck are you coming through the same window?
exactly. I'm sure he was thinking it.
that's what-
So tell me why my dad was awake. They had bunk beds, right? And that room probably smelled like ass. All three of his brothers were in one room. So I don't know how the fuck they did it. It was a bunk bed and there was one bed against the wall, right? So my dad was on the top bunk and he told me, he's like, he heard the window open And he already knew because he looked immediately at the door. They already know how their dad works. So let's see if he's gonna be scot-free tonight. Oh, he's fucked. My dad looked over and saw my dad. He looked at him like almost gave him a look like if you say anything, you're fucking dead too with him. So he hit my dad. My grandpa just went. And just said he looked to him, pointed at him. Sure enough, my uncle and my grandfather was on it. He had his finger on the switch. He waited for the right moment. My uncle was halfway through the window. Lights came on. And in Spanish, he asked him, where the fuck were you at and why wasn't I invited? Look what time it is. Your ass should be sleeping like me, right? Mm-hmm. And he said he was halfway, he just froze halfway in the window. Half his leg was in the window. And my dad told him, he's like, wherever the fuck you were at, if I were you, I would go back there. He told him just like that in Spanish. He's like, you better take your ass back to the window because if you finish coming through that window, start taking the belt out, get it ready right there. Like, so choose ass whooping and in your bed, or you go back to wherever the fuck it was you were at till 4 o'clock in the morning. He wouldn't play that game, man. And then I'm only telling you guys this story because my uncle didn't learn his lesson. Fast forward to a couple years later, he got busted. They were stealing car radios. He went to jail for it. Right? They called my dad. He was still a minor, 17. I think he was 17, whatever. He might have been 18. I'm not sure. But they called my dad and they asked to tell him, hey, here's a bail amount. Do you want to come get him? He said, I'll leave his ass in there. Let him leave his ass in there. So low key, I'm like, even as harsh as that may sound, maybe this is what the kind of shit you need though. Fuck him, leave his ass in there. You're gonna learn. Like if I come get you and bail you out right now, you ain't gonna learn shit. Yeah.
And I mean, even piggybacking off of that, like your mistakes create your character.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't look at mistakes as, oh, you're, the black sheep of the family and all that other stuff. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, you're
just a contribution of the family, right?
Yeah.
It's something in you that I created because you have my gene, you have your dad's gene, and I should have been more careful as picking the DNA that I chose to.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
savage. I done chose the wrong dick. I'm sorry.
Period.
Sorry, you gonna say, Joey?
No, like she was saying, your experiences, they make you who you are. Like
that's true.
If I wouldn't have gone through everything that I've gone through, I wouldn't be who I am today. And some people learn from them.
That's a good way to look at it, though. It's true.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to end up in jail again. I don't want to end up in prison. And they make a change. And some people are like, it's not so bad, or I can run the game in here. And they're like, if I come in, screw it. And I just feel like there's only so much that you can do as a parent, to make sure your kid makes the right choices.
Right.
You just, try to show them the way. And if they choose to follow it, great.
And
if not,
love your child,
regardless of,
talk to your child, get an understanding and listen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids, they just want you to listen.
Yeah. And that's a big part of it. I do believe, and I'm sure you guys can agree. I think from an early age, it's important to establish that they can trust you, right?
Yeah.
Tell me stuff. Like I know you might get to an age, right, or a point where you think it's uncool to tell your parents shit.
Yeah.
And I've been there, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to lead to my last segment of the episode, you guys. I know that I believe that if there's more communication present there, it would become less of a uncool situation and more of a, exactly. They will basically, a good kid, a smart kid will be like, well, fuck the judgment.
Yeah.
This is my parent. At the end of the day, I know I can trust them. Fuck it. I can be completely honest here. This is a place where I can just be vulnerable and honest and real. Now that will come with problems. Obviously, they might, there might be issues of being made fun of or whatever the case. But when your kid's mature enough, and throughout time, that they'll understand the difference between when they're at school and when they're at home. Different circumstances, different scenarios, or if something devastating does happen at school, they will trust you enough to tell you about it. That's what I think. Of course, that's a theory.
I'm a
it's not a fact.
That I'm not my child's friend. I'm nothing like your friend. However,
but no. But I see where you're going. If you don't mind me cutting off real quick, I'm not saying be their friend. You need to be their parent. There's a difference.
Right,
there's definitely a difference because they will not respect you like a parent if you treat them too much like a friend.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
Yeah, because kind of like Miss Power was saying about like those parents are like perfection, be perfect, straight A's, do this, don't. I feel like those kids are the ones who keep the most because they don't want to tell they don't want to tell their parents something that they know their parents not going to agree with and feel like almost like they're disappointing their parent. Like I was your age, like I made mistakes. I smoked weed. I, did this. I did that. Things that I wasn't supposed to do.
I was a neighborhood.
Oh, but at the same time, it just is what it is. Like, it just is what it is.
You know, and that's always something that I've told myself when I had kids, that I want to try to make them feel as comfortable as they can. Like, I expect great things from you,
Of course.
but I know that you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to come
There you
to
go.
me.
It's
If you're
okay.
out drinking in
Don't
the
be
fucking
embarrassed. Yeah, tell me.
10th grade and you don't know how you're getting home, like you're not, so you can't drive because you're drunk and you're in high school, call me in the middle of the night and I will come and pick your ass up. Like, I don't want you driving home drunk. I don't want you getting in a car.
Because then you'll be in a worse situation.
Yeah, it's like, just call me. Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation about it the next day, but at least I know you're safe, and
True
at least
story.
at least
That's
I know
facts.
that you felt like you had
You're
that relationship with
comfortable.
me to call me. It's like, I honestly felt like for a long time, even with my mom, who I'm closest with, I didn't have that relationship. I didn't really talk to her about a lot of things up until maybe I was like 19, 20. I started getting more confident with talking to her about like life decisions that I was contemplating, or this and that, or relationships, or just decisions in general. But like, I do think if I would have had that relation, luckily I turned out all right. I didn't get into a lot. I did my fair share of this and that, and
Fuck shit.
yeah, like, and I decided, yeah, it's not for me, and but I did it. But I was never.
You got it out your system.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, I got lucky and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like, I never like smoking. I never like smoking weed. I don't like how I feel when I'm high.
Mm-hmm.
Other drugs, like I've never been keen to try another drugs.
Peer
I just don't
pressure.
have it. Yeah, I don't.
And you're
get
not
into-
easily influenced because
Yeah.
it's like, I've been there, I've done that. I got my own opinion. I got my own mind. There's nothing that you can say to influence me to do something that I really don't want to do, only because I already tried it.
Yeah.
Or
Like I
or
said,
not.
the whole
But-
experience thing, like I experienced it and I made the decision that's not for me.
Mhm.
And I feel like trying to keep your kids from experiencing life, like there's going to be things that come up in their life that you're going to worry about. Like, but they got to have that experience to make their own decision and learn from that experience. Like, yeah, like I don't want to run with this crew because I'm going to end up dead, or I'm going to end up in jail or in prison. And like, that's not what I want. And like I said, you just do your best to kind of keep them from that. Like me and my sister went to Pete Knight. We live literally half a block from Palmdale High School, but my mom didn't want us going there because her thought was, oh, it has a bad rep. You guys are going to get into trouble. I'm like, that depends on us.
You guys are literally, you could walk to school. That's how close it was.
Not, the school, like you just have to trust
Yeah,
that
it's
like, we're
true.
going to make our
Yeah.
own decisions. Like we've been to different schools. We could have gotten into trouble regardless. There are kids that go to Paraclete private school.
And it's
who are
funny you say that because I lived in Lancaster
doing even worse.
and I lived even further than you did. And I still went to Pete Knight.
It was
And I was right down the street from Lancaster High. No, East Side High School.
It was just seen as like the
Listen,
safe.
East Side, yeah.
I don't know what
safer
Pete
school.
Knight is. I don't know what all these other.
I know you from another area, girl. We know.
Like
We get
when
it.
I came
You in the AV, girl.
AV Antelope Valley, it was only Palmdale. I don't know.
Small as shit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then they start creating all this other
Yeah.
stuff. But
But it's fun. No, yeah, of course. And it's funny you mentioned that because that's literally what my situation was, man. Like same thing. East Side High School was literally a 2-minute drive, if that. I could have walked or rode a bike there too. But it was in a hood ass area and she didn't want me to do it. She didn't want my brother to do it. Yeah. So they drove us there every day. Yeah.
Morally, do you guys think, my question is, growing up in, like you say, the hood, or growing up in the suburban or whatever, does that create character?
No, yeah. Oh yeah. I think it makes you a stronger person.
What?
I think it makes you smarter in certain situations. And you know what I'm saying? I think it puts you in, it kind of helps you define character. I feel like it puts you in scenarios where it kind of forces you, it shows you how ugly the world is in a way that maybe you need to see to build some character on it. That's what I believe, honestly. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Not necessarily always bad comes out of that, for sure.
Because like, let's take somebody from like Beverly Hills and then take somebody from like Watts. Like the person from Watts, regardless of race or whatever, like they're going to experience so much more resistance in life because they're already, it's like running track, like with the 100s, how they stagger the starting line, except you end at, even though it's like narrow, but it's like staggering the starting line. Like the person from Beverly Hills has like a huge lead on the person from Watts because of where they live and where they're bringing up, because they have more, everything's more accessible to them.
Yeah.
And I think it builds character. I feel like people who sometimes are like spoon fed, they have more issues or more
That's what I was
trouble
getting at.
dealing with like
Society.
and dealing with problems
in
if
general,
it doesn't go their way. Yeah, if it doesn't go their way, they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Whereas a person who was raised in that, that hood area, they've seen this their entire lives, and they're like, I know exactly, like I have it
Where it's
down. Like
leading,
I'm going
where
to
it's
keep
going.
grinding. I know what I'm going to do. You know, it's nothing I haven't already seen versus the
Yeah.
person who's kind of spoon fed is like, what do I do? Like I've always had everything kind of handed to me.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
my mom wanted
Way
this
different.
perfect angel, but I'm on heroin and meth. Other than like, yeah, my mom, she just accepted me for who I was, and I'm a successful doctor. You know, because
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing to hide.
No,
you
that's
know?
facts.
And it just is what it is. Like, I mean, I understand education is important. However, like life in general, like, you know, outside of education, just being able to survive.
Yeah, no,
is
that's true.
also, you know, without the spoons and all that other stuff, you know, because growing up in a, you know, in a generation where, you know, mom was on county and, you know, we had WIC and all that other stuff, and mom had to, you know, still go to work, and I was able to get my siblings ready for school and make sure it's like everybody played a role.
Yeah,
Is what I'm trying to get at, you know, other than, you know, us depending on our parents to do every little thing. And then like, if life doesn't work out, it's your fault, you know? And it's like, no, it's not. It's the decisions that you made.
are
you
big
know?
on that. Yeah, no, and that's why, and that, you know, not to cut you off, sorry, I guess
Go
time
ahead.
reasons.
Yeah.
That's gonna transition me over to the last topic of the episode, which is, well, it's the last sub-genre to the same topic. All right, so thought we're gonna end this episode with this, you guys. I want your last takes, guys, on you growing up. Okay, how did you guys grow up? And I'll go left to right. I'll start with JP. How did you grow up, JP? When you were growing up, how much of that did you listen to? Your family dynamic was different from mine. Was different from, you know, from Miss Pies, I'm sure.
Yep.
And you know, we weren't raised the same, so obviously you had different dynamics that you followed and how you lived, right? What kind of lessons were you taught? Did you, and which ones did you agree with? Which ones did you not agree with that you're willing to share with us?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about how it turned out?
You know, it's funny because like when I think about like lessons, like I don't think you really pay attention while you're growing up. You just kind of like.
And how did your moral compass get formed? That's what I meant to say then. Sorry.
No, you kind of learn as you go, and like you'll do things, and you're like you'll get a slap on the wrist, or you'll get talked to, you'll get sent to your room. You know, like I still consider myself lucky. Like I wasn't rich by any means. My family wasn't rich. Both my parents worked, but we were well off. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I never had to worry like some people have to worry. So like, you know, that's already giving me a leg up on some people.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know if it was just, and I do sometimes just think it's just genes and the way that you're chemically made up. Like I was from what I hear, a very chill kid.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot. I didn't get in trouble. When I did get in trouble, I didn't really, not that I didn't care, but like, you know, kids throw tantrums when they're sent to their room. My mom tells me I'd be laying on my bed reading a book. Like I didn't care. I didn't care that she sent me to my room, you know, and I just think it's because my mom allowed us to be kids and like didn't over punish. Like there's times when they punish, like we broke windows, we broke doors off of hinges by
Yeah.
like fucking around, and yeah, we got in trouble, but it's like they never beat us. They never like I never felt like. And again, it's different. Even this shows how it's different for everybody. It's different. I know for a fact for my little sister. Like I'm not scared of either of my parents, and I know that my little sister has this fear of my dad because she was younger. My dad was not a bad father or a bad dad, but he was a bad partner to my mom. Like they're no longer together, you know, and that's mainly what I can think of when I say that things that I've learned that I've grasped on is the way that I saw my dad or is what I know I don't want to be.
Okay.
As a partner, even a parent in terms of yelling. Like my dad was a big yeller to us. I don't like yelling. Like I always tell people when I'm meeting them, like partners or possible partners, like you'll probably never hear me raise my voice. Because like I don't think from my experience with it that it gets the point across. It just it instills fear in a way, and like I don't want that with my partner. I don't want that with my kids. You know, so like for me, I've always been very level headed,
which is good. That's
I don't let my emotion or even if I'm angry, like take advantage of like you know my decision. You know, I try to really think things out. I'm very analytical like that.
Cool heads prevail.
Yeah, and it's just like
Cool heads prevail.
Like I said, and I've been lucky. Like I said, me and my two sisters all turned out, you know, pretty much similar. Like I said, we all have, but we're all very different. We all grew up in the same exact environment, but it just shows how just because you're in that same environment, everybody reacts differently to, you know, to different things. And we're all different in a lot of ways and we're all similar in a lot of ways. And it just shows that everybody's different. Like you can't expect somebody to come out exactly how you anticipate them because they're not going to,
Right.
You can be put in the exact same situation as somebody else and you're going to come out completely different than that same person.
That's true. And then you having your own personality obviously results in your own choices separately from what they may or may not teach you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. That's true. What about you, Miss Pie?
The wine's getting to me. What was the question?
That's your willingness to share. I love it. I did that shit too. You know what? I did it earlier.
I heard everything you said.
Hey, I did it.
Your question?
Girl, I did it earlier. So I can't even judge you. Basically the question was, in your situation growing up, how much of the moral standing and lessons did you take from your parents or your parental, depending if you had your mom or dad in the same house or had one or the other or neither or an aunt, uncle, whoever, how much of the lessons that they taught you did you actually apply to your life growing up? Loaded question, huh?
Touching on different
that you're willing
aspects.
To share, of course. You're willing to share, of course.
I'm completely open because I'm open book. But my mom was 15, 16 when she had me, so she was a teenager herself. My father, you know what I'm saying, he was in jail. So I grew up in a family where it's like we was a village. My mom still need her mom to learn the lessons or whatnot, and then my grandparents, they taught us a lot. And so with that being said, my grandmother, she had 8 children. So, I grew up in a village, and I learned from each and every one of my aunts and my uncles, not to mention, my father, he had 7 siblings. Well, actually 6 because he was the 7th. But, it's just that I grew up in a big family. So I took bits and pieces from everybody, and that created me.
Yeah.
And so, I can't say, I grew up in a wrong family or a right family, but I do know, I'm successful. A lot of people who were more, privileged and had more advantages than I have, the nicest sneakers and shoes and all the clothes and everything. I didn't have that. I had hand-me-downs, and that was brand new to me. And I treated it like gold because it was new to me. So, I didn't grow up in the lifestyle with both parents. However, I took what I had and I ran with it, and then, I created the own lifestyle that I choose to live. And I grew up with a godparent as well. So therefore, she is the one, not only her, but, with my other, family members, they showed me structure. They showed me, what it's like to have both parents, even if I didn't have it. So, with that being said, I can't complain. It actually built character, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I wouldn't have grown up in the lifestyle that I had.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. That's what made you. Okay, cool. That's what made you is at the end of the day is that you took bits and parts of all those people that were big in your life.
Village.
That's great. Hey, you know what? That's cool. I respect it. Well, see, and that's what I liked about this. That's why I wanted to ask you guys this, because I know that all 3 of us grew up drastically differently. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes this special. I think that's what makes everybody unique.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can either let those experiences tear you down or let them make you a better person, right? Or let them embrace that and make you whoever you end up becoming.
And
right?
I made mistakes.
Shit, we all gonna make mistakes. We still gonna continue to make them.
A lot of them.
Oh yeah.
But actually, I did make my mistakes, but at the same time, I learned a lot from other people's mistakes.
That's the important thing, though. They say, hey, well, in your case, it would be the opposite. It would be you learn from your own mistakes. But not to cut you off, I want to throw this out there. And I heard this from my pops, and it's so true. A wise man learns from his mistakes, but a wiser man learns from somebody else's mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's 1,000, man. That's 1,000. And
truth.
If you don't, because there'll be some fucked up shit to be happening, you're like, I really don't want that to happen to me, so I'm definitely not going to do that. And for that alone, I'll say this from my part. You want anything you add to that, or you?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. And then for me, to answer my own question, I think that I took a majority of it. I could have been better with the women. I'm not gonna lie. Me and my brother didn't really take the route that my dad did. Respect to him. I only believe that he stayed celibate until he was married, just for the simple fact that the way he carries himself to this day it shows in the character, it shows in the movement. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say something, but when you move and your actions follow what you're saying, it's hard not to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, this man was in tough predicaments. I'm talking about at the drive-in theater in the back seat, girls' tops off already, and you know what I'm saying? Think shit's about to go down, and he found the willpower somehow to just get her off him and not do it. I don't know, man. I'm sure they might have messed around, but to do the actual deed, he held it till he was married, and I believe it because I see how that man is with my mother. You know what I'm saying? So to see how my father is with my mother, and I was blessed enough to say that. And I'm not naive. I knew I wasn't naive because I saw how my dad would move. And you know, kids see everything. So I know he was loyal to her, and it still is to this day. So it's admirable. And I remember me and my brother had a conversation, and I had said this back in episode, I think it was 4 or 5 of season 2, I believe, or season 1, where I briefly talk about us going on a walk with my pops, my brother and I. And it got to the point we're telling him, because he was asking us, so why do you guys, do what you do? And I kid you both not, as we're walking and we're talking to my dad, he stopped walking. It got to the point where he just stopped walking. And we turn around, we look at him, and my brother look at him like, you good? He's like, where did I go wrong? I didn't teach y'all none of that shit. I didn't teach you guys any of this shit. Like, so it's like, and he's like, man, he's like, what did I, and we had to reassure him, Dad, it was our choice, man. Like, if anything, you're an inspiration for me to pass those same things that you taught me on to my son. Hopefully he could take it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he doesn't make the same decision that I made. Although I turned out pretty well. God blessed me enough with a woman who took me as I was, and she's amazing, man. I reached for her, bro, and I got a good woman now. Someone that respects herself, respects me, loves me very much. It shows in her actions, and we have a beautiful child now. So I got blessed,
To kind of piggyback off like your dad and the whole where did I go wrong? I just think it's different times too.
Yeah, I was telling that too. It wasn't easy.
We're exposed.
Timeless talk.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We're exposed to so much more. We have access to so much more. We have
we have at our fingertips. Back then, they didn't have that.
Like they didn't have anything. So like they're brought up and just general beliefs are different. Like a lot of people, like they were married in the early 20s and settled down, had kids, had houses by 25.
Options.
Yeah, and it's like for us, like. I'm 31 and like I don't have a house, I don't have kids. Like it's just different times. Like I feel like back then I'd seem like, oh, like you're failing. Like you're 31 and you don't have.
I think
kids,
you're the perfect age to do what you do.
And
because,
I think now, like,
that's true.
Just life is different and circumstances are different. Like I said, like obviously, like just hoeing around, like that is just a personal choice.
Yeah,
but. I also think it's better to be picky. Like I wouldn't want to say like, oh, like maybe if our parents were pickier, like they wouldn't be with each other. But I do like, I'm very peculiar with who I would want to spend because you're going to spend your life with somebody.
As you should be.
And I do believe that you both have to be on the point of if there's issues, you're going to work on it. I do think our generation has this issue where if it's broken, we're going to throw it out. And look for something new. You're going to have the same issues. Like, I think if you truly care about somebody, if you're broken, what's that saying? Like, if you have a house and a light bulb goes out, you're not going to get a new house. You're going to change the light bulb. You're going to fix the light bulb. I feel it's the same thing with the relationships, and you just have to find somebody who's willing to do that with you.
Right.
If there's an issue, you're going to work on fixing that issue. It doesn't mean you're going to agree on whatever it is, but you're going to work with your partner.
And that's growth.
To fix it. And that's what's going to keep you together. But like, I feel myself, I haven't been lucky enough to find that with somebody yet.
Because
for
the
sure.
society that we lived in before and the society that we live in now, like he said, everything is at a touch of a finger.
Yeah.
Everybody has options. We always looking for options. So it's just like, back in the day, when it's just like, well, this is my man and I'm gonna go ahead and stick with him, stick by him. A lot of people like, I could find somebody better.
Especially now with dating apps, like it's so easy to cheat on your partner.
Oh, and then look at the way. Yeah, look at Instagram alone. Look at the stuff, unsending messages, all this shit that they're making these apps. They're making ways to make it cheating as easy as possible.
You can't even
read
back the thread, like reminisce.
Yeah, it's sad, yo. It's like, why is it like that?
Cheaters
and they're low key. High key, they're fucking encouraging it, man. That's really what it comes down to.
That's what I'm saying.
It's unfortunate, but that's
not what it used to be. Like we
different eras better in certain ways.
We they focus on petty stuff and stuff that doesn't even make any sense, but it makes sense in somebody. So
exactly,
they pushed it.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But yeah, we guys. With that being said, though, we're running low on time now. But you know,
no words.
Yeah, man, for sure. But hey, you know, this has been a great conversation. Again, I appreciate having you guys here for sure. You know what I'm saying? It was a very good episode. So shout out to you guys. Pat yourselves on the back. Appreciate y'all being here. Hand clap for you guys. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's you know, it was a great episode. A lot to think about, a lot to digest. You guys out there, I'm gonna go ahead and bore you guys real quick with the usual. You know, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out. They're every Friday morning, 5 a.m. Pacific time. They should be on YouTube and wherever you listen to audio podcasts. It should be available then. I apologize,
Pandora still or not yet?
Yes, he said Pandora, bro. You really yes. He said Pandora still or not. I love that. Hey, dog. I love it. Okay, that's how I know JP really listens. All right, so yeah, there was just so you didn't know, in case you didn't know, Miss Pie. We have an ongoing feud with Pandora.
Okay.
It's not exist. So they actually took our submission to have our podcast on their platform, and it went from pending and just holding, stalled, pending, stalled, and it just disappeared altogether. Now it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. I was wondering if that's just our podcast or is it just every podcast in general. So I did my research. Turns out, yeah, Pandora just called it quits on hosting podcasts at all. So we just submitted at the wrong time.
So it wasn't personal.
No. And at first, like, I don't know if you watched the beginning of the feud, my dumbass was submitting it wrong to them the whole time. So they were trying to post it, but I was putting it. And the funny thing is, Spotify's been rocking with us since the beginning. Apple Podcast, the big boys have been rocking with us. You know, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. But you know what? Pandora matters because those are some ears. I don't know if you ever heard B Money.
They do.
He's like, now I want them. Like,
but you know what?
But they don't want us. So it's
Pandora, like I listen to it, but like a lot of the new generations, like my son, he's 13, and he's like Spotify. You know, so sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like I'm old school because I listen to Pandora.
Yeah, but you know what, Pandora, man, they're hanging on by. It's okay. We're on everything else. iHeart Music, you name it.
That's right.
But everywhere else you listen to podcasts, that's where we're at. So shout out to all of our directories. You know what I'm saying? You guys make this possible for our audio listeners. I mean, I have to ask the question now. What about you, JP? Where do you listen to us at? Where did you listen to us at?
I'm an Apple Podcast guy.
That's right.
I like having it separated because I use Spotify for my music, but I don't like that it mixes it. Then it's like, oh, listen to this podcast or listen.
Okay,
I just want you to give me the music that I want to listen.
That's good. I like that.
So
I respect it.
If it's on.
See,
Apple,
but he rocks
Apple
with
podcasts. I do Apple Podcasts.
There you go. See, and we're on Apple Podcasts, damn it, because they fuck with us, unlike Pandora. For Pandora, you know where we stay at. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Pandora. That's why they're never gonna post. Nah, they
lawsuit.
They a lawsuit coming our way. Damn. Nah, but they legit. I never get over that one guy laughing in the background. There's some emphasis back there. I'm like, dude, yo, he trying to get a paycheck. Guys, with that being said, thank you guys so much for your time. Again, please comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Before I put the final wrap on this and hit the outro, JP, is there anything you want? Well, the ladies go first. I'm sorry. Miss Pie, is there? Leave the audience with you know what you want. A last tidbit, them to hear what's going on in your life. Hit them with it. If you don't want to share that, if you're not like a social media star and you don't got no shit going on like that, just leave them.
No, but at the same time, you know, I'm gonna keep it simple. If you want to hear more of me, just let us know, and I'll be presenting or come on and as a guest more often.
Yeah, of course, and we appreciated having you here. So thank you very much.
Long enough, right?
Real talk. But anyway, okay. So what about you, JP? Last thoughts, final thoughts of the episode, sir. What you got?
I mean, no major thoughts. Same thing as Miss Pie. Like I plan to hopefully be on a few episodes, you know, when I'm able to make it after work. But
appreciate that. Yeah.
You know, love each other. You know, the world's a crazy place. Like, you know, just be there, love each other. You know, the life's too short to hate and have all this hate in your heart.
Facts.
So, you know, so just live your truth.
Live your truth, yo. Yes.
You know, and be happy. You know, be happy with your life. You know, live for you and don't let others kind of dictate what you're going to do with your life, and just be happy. And yeah, that's it.
All right, I like it. That's good. That's true, man. So, you know, hey, thank you for that, guys. Again, thank you guys again for being out here. It means a lot to us, honestly. It means a lot to us, you know, to us, the community, and the hosts and everybody that goes into the production. We appreciate you guys spending your time here. With that being said, thank you guys again. This has been Timeless Talk. We'll see you next week.